This is the one you've known as Jesus the Christ. When you're awakened or enlightened, you see beauty everywhere, even in what's not considered beautiful by conventional standards. That's because when you're awakened or enlightened, you see through different eyes, not conventional eyes. Before awakening, you have a standard of beauty, certain images and ideas about what is beautiful, which cause you to overlook much of the beauty in the world and in people. The ego sees the world through a lens of duality, good or bad, beautiful or not beautiful, like or dislike, for me or against me. The ego embraces only a small part of life and overlooks or rejects the rest. Pushing away so much of life creates much of the suffering people experience. Everything the ego doesn't like has the potential to make it unhappy. That's a lot of things that can interfere with being happy and at peace. So much of what the ego likes and doesn't like is arbitrary and programmed, and has nothing to do with rationality, practicality, or even survival. The ego's preferences aren't just, I like puppies and I don't like tigers, which would be understandable from the perspective of survival. The ego's preferences are not so much about survival as about creating an identity. I'm someone who likes X and doesn't like Y. That's who I am. The reason the ego rejects so much about the world and people is that this gives the ego an identity. The false self is constructed of likes and dislikes. This explains why changing one's preferences and beliefs can seem so threatening. Questioning your preferences and especially your beliefs brings up the deeper question of who you are. Who are you without them? There's a lot of resistance to making such changes because of what you assume this might mean about yourself. Does this mean you were wrong or foolish to like or believe what you did? That's always hard for the ego to admit, and one reason for people not questioning their beliefs or identities. And if you're willing to change your beliefs or identities, what does that mean? Does it mean you're disloyal, fickle, can't be trusted, don't know your own mind? People don't want to take on those identities either, so that's another hurdle. And how will changing your beliefs or identities affect your life? Will your friends and family reject you? Who will be your friends? Will you fit in? What will happen to you? These are some of the concerns that keep people from being more flexible about their beliefs and exploring more deeply who they are. A challenge to one's identity can even feel like an issue of survival. Will those who were like me turn on me when I'm not like them anymore? On a deep, primitive level, there's a sense of your own life being at risk if you change what you like or believe. To your ego, changing your preferences and beliefs, your identities, feels like a matter of life or death. And yet, are your preferences and beliefs more important than love, more important than embracing all of life? Preferences and beliefs limit what you're open to in life, and that's the problem. The ego's world is limiting. There is so much more to enjoy and embrace than the things and people you've openly chosen to embrace. What if you held all your preferences and beliefs more lightly and more flexibly? What if you didn't reject anything or anyone? Even if you didn't embrace everything and everyone, but were simply more open to everything and everyone, this would be a very big change for most people, one that would enhance one's life greatly. There is so much in this world to enjoy, so much beauty, so much you might do and explore, so much you might create, so many people you might learn from. But most people live in a small world that reflects their preferences and beliefs. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. This is natural, but it's good to realize just how much your preferences and beliefs shape your life and not allow them to be overly limiting. All I'm saying is that it's good to stretch yourself sometimes and be open to new activities, new perspectives, and new people. One way to stretch yourself is through a simple practice of seeing beauty in everyone and everything, in the ordinary and most mundane things. It's not that hard to do this. The key to breaking the mind's habit of overlooking the beauty in life is learning to give your attention to things you don't usually give your attention to. The only way you can't find something or someone beautiful is not to give it or the person your full attention, and instead give your attention to your thoughts. If your attention lands on something, including a person, long enough without thoughts, you'll experience a kind of beauty there, if not a conventional beauty. What gives attention is your divine self, which is in love with everything. Because the divine self recognizes everything as itself, it experiences everything as lovable and beautiful in its own right. Whenever your attention is given to anything long enough, your divine self moves to the forefront, and this enables you to have the experience of your divine self for as long as that attention lasts. This holds true for whatever you're giving your attention to. The divine self pours its love on whatever it attends to. What usually happens, however, is thoughts interfere with this attention-giving, and you slip into the mind's virtual reality, its ideas about whatever you're giving your attention to. And then you're no longer giving your attention or being present to that alone, but giving your attention to your ideas or desires or feelings about that. Or you are more completely in virtual reality and thinking about something else altogether. When you give your attention to anything long enough, it becomes beautiful, amazing, a miracle. It becomes your beloved, and you are filled with gratitude. This is obvious in your relationships with those you love, including pets. As you gaze upon them, giving them your full, undivided attention, undivided by thoughts, love flows from you to them. When this happens, it might seem like they are the cause of your love, but your undivided, thoughtless attention is what causes the love inside you to move out into the world. This is important to realize, because this means you could choose to give your undivided attention to things or people you don't normally give your attention to, or even like, and you would experience this same flow of love for them. So this is what I'm suggesting you do as a practice. Give your attention fully to things and people you encounter, including those you don't currently like, and see how much love and beauty you can experience in everything and everyone. This practice is one more example of what I've been talking about lately when I suggest you behave as if you're enlightened. Those who are enlightened give their undivided attention to life easily and naturally, because they're no longer enthralled by the voice in their head. These thoughts no longer impinge on and distort their experience of life. Without them, there's a natural attending to whatever is coming out of the flow in any moment. That is the description of the enlightened state. So the prescription for enlightenment is to do the same as best you can. Attend to what's coming out of the flow in each moment as best you can without any interference of the voice in your head. Such thoughts are obviously not necessary, since those who are enlightened are functioning beautifully without attending to them. The intention to give your attention to life in this way is the first step, and a very important one. However, I must say that without a practice of meditation, giving your attention fully to life, being present, will be difficult to carry out. Meditation is a way of practicing being present without the added challenges presented by the activities of life, which stir the mind up. When your body is still, as it is in meditation, the mind naturally quiets down, making your thoughts easier to set aside. That's why it's helpful to practice being present in meditation before you try being present in your busy life. By all means, also try to be present in your daily life, but these attempts will be greatly bolstered by a practice of meditation. The reason that beauty is so available when you're present is that being present allows you to see life through the divine's eyes. When you're present, you see the beauty that the divine sees as it looks out of your eyes. When you're present for long enough, you become love. Love is who you are, and love sees beauty everywhere. Thank you for being here. I honor you and am here to support you in any way I can. I am with you always.